They said my wife was detained at the airport. Suddenly, every lie connected perfectly. That was the moment trust officially ended.
The chat window lit up late at night, her name glowing on my screen. She asked a question that hung in the digital air, heavy and strange. Did I trust her enough to give her space? I typed back, my fingers moving slowly. Trust isn't built on distance, I told her. It's built on words, on honesty. She replied that she was traveling, a trip designed to test our marriage. My heart sank. A test? Who suggested such a thing? Who puts a marriage on trial? She dodged the question, sending a simple plain emoji instead. Emojis aren't answers, I messaged back, a knot of unease tightening in my stomach. She dismissed my concern, telling me I worried too much. But worry grows in the shadows where honesty shrinks, I replied. She said she would be gone for a few days. The natural next question was, where? Where are you going? Her answer was vague, almost poetic. Somewhere warm, somewhere with clarity. But clarity doesn't need secrecy, I pointed out. The truth doesn't hide. Then nothing. She left the chat on read. The two blue check marks were like two cold eyes staring back at me. I stared at the silence, the emptiness on the screen, until sleep became a stranger, refusing to visit. The next morning, my phone buzzed. It was a photo from her. An airport window, gray and impersonal, framing a runway. Her caption read, "Freedom feels exciting." My fingers flew across the keyboard. "Why does your freedom require leaving me behind?" Her response came quickly. "Absence reveals truth," she wrote. I disagreed. "Truth survives presence," I told her. "It doesn't need to be unearthed through separation. It should be strong enough to exist when we're together." Hours crawled by. Each minute felt like an eternity of waiting. Finally, a new message popped up. She'd landed safely. A wave of relief washed over me, but it was quickly replaced by suspicion. "Who met you there?" I asked. Her reply wasn't words. It was a laughing reaction to my message. A digital chuckle that felt like a slap in the face. "That laughter sounds cruel right now," I typed, my sense of hurt turning into anger. And then my phone rang. Not a call, but a strange, unknown alert. A text from a number I didn't recognize. The message was chillingly direct. "Do you know her plans?" My breath caught in my throat. I typed back, "Who is this?" The reply came almost instantly. "Security. We need confirmation." My chest tightened, a band of ice squeezing my lungs. Questions stacked up in my mind, a chaotic pile of fear and confusion. "What happened?" I demanded. The person on the other end explained. She was detained for questioning. Why? Why would my wife be detained? The answer made my world tilt. There were documents, they said. Documents linked to her bag. My hands started to shake, making it hard to type. "Is she safe?" That was the only thing that mattered in that moment. They replied that she was unharmed, but in shock. "Can I speak to her?" I pleaded. The response was clinical and cold. "Contact will be permitted later." And just like that, the chat ended, leaving me with no comfort, only a storm of unanswered questions and a growing dread. I was alone with the silence again, but this time it was filled with terror. Hours later, her name finally appeared on my screen again, but her tone was completely different. Panic poured through her words. "Nothing was supposed to go wrong," she wrote. "What are you hiding?" I asked, my patience worn thin. "It was just a mistake," she claimed. "Mistakes don't involve secret trips and airport detentions," I shot back. The truth was a cornered animal, and I was done letting it hide. Then came the begging. "Please, you have to help me." My own question came out, cold and clear. "Does the truth finally matter to you now?" And then it came, the confession. She admitted she hadn't traveled alone. She was with someone else. So this was the test, I typed, the pieces clicking into place with sickening clarity. Her next words felt like a punch to the gut. She said she felt alive with him. My reply was slow, deliberate, each word a carefully placed stone. "Tests should not betray trust." She said she never meant to hurt me. A classic line, empty and hollow. "Intention doesn't erase the damage," I told her. The chat filled with her apologies, a flood of "I'm sorry" that meant nothing against the backdrop of her lies. I made my position clear. I would not interfere legally. I would not get involved. She accused me of abandoning her. "But consequences are not abandonment," I replied. She said she was afraid of losing everything. You gambled it all the moment you bought that plane ticket, I said. You already lost. Days later, news came that she was released pending a review. It wasn't long before she messaged again, her words tentative. Can I come home? The question hung there, and I thought about it carefully. What does home mean to you? I asked. She said it meant safety and forgiveness. My answer was simple. Safety requires truth. And so the whole story finally spilled out. The trip wasn't a test. It was an escape plan with her new partner. An escape that had collapsed on landing. My escapes, I told her, have a habit of doing that. She asked if there was any hope for us. Hope, I explained, can only grow after accountability. It needs fertile ground, cleared of all the lies. From that point on, the chat slowed down. The frantic energy was replaced by a strange, somber honesty. We began to discuss separation, but this time there were no insults, no accusations. She accepted her responsibility in short, quiet lines of text. And I listened without trying to rescue her, without trying to fix it. She said she understood my silence. I told her my silence was my new boundary, a wall to protect what little I had left. Weeks passed, and the messages became rare. When she did write, her tone was calm and clear. She was starting over, she said, alone. I wished her the clarity she'd been searching for. But I added, without the need for my closeness. She thanked me for being fair. After that, I closed the app. A profound sense of lightness washed over me. The test she wanted was finally over. Trust had not survived the journey. But in its place, peace had arrived, a quiet peace that didn't need revenge to exist. The story that had unfolded in that chat window ended right where the truth began. Sometime later, a final message from her appeared. One last simple apology. I replied that healing, for both of us, would take distance. She agreed, without argument. I didn't delete the thread. Instead, I muted it. The quiet felt different this time. It wasn't an anxious, waiting silence. It was a silence I had earned. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever felt lost in the silence of a conversation, remember you're not alone. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more stories about finding your way back to your own truth.